Assalamu alaikum guys, Khaleel Mohammed here. Today we're going to do a film review of the film Bilal, A New Breed of Hero. It's going to be filled with spoilers, so if you have not seen it yet, go and see it. Come back, check out this review and see if you agree with my points here on Wagwa. Bilal, A New Breed of Hero. I'm all about Islamic media and I support all of it. But I'm wondering, is this actually Islamic media? I'm not quite sure. But let's go through my positive points first and then my negative points. And reminder, guys, it is filled with spoilers. So you might want to save this video, go away, watch it, come back, and then check it out, and leave your comments below. So if you agree or disagree with me. Right, let's start with the good points, right? Let's start with the good. And then we can see, what you don't like about it, Khaleel, right? Right, the good part about it is that, of course, it's following the life of Ibn Rabah, the first person to make the call to prayer in the Islamic tradition. The film opens with him as a child playing with his sister, and then they are raided by marauders. It doesn't actually say who they were, but they're raided, and Bilal and his sister are then sold into slavery. They jump ahead, and then you find that Bilal and his sister are now slaves. They're probably, late teens, and they're slaves, and they've already been owned by Umayyah. So it talks about that. I don't know how accurate it is. I did read a book about the early life of Bilal years ago, but I don't know how accurate this is. It does show the hardship and the persecution that the slaves faced at that time, the difficulties, that there's no laws protecting them, that there's nothing that they can do when cruelty is meted out to them. And it certainly is meted out to them by the hands of Umayyah, his owner, and of course his son. So it does show the difficulties and the hardship and the fact that they have no rights whatsoever, and that they are not even at one point he compares him to an apple, says that the apple is probably, at least I can eat the apple. All right. It does show a beautiful connection between Bilal and his mother, and how what she tried to teach him resonates in his heart, and it's a theme that and a thread that runs throughout the film, about removing the chains from inside of yourselves, being a great man, having a horse, being a great warrior doesn't make you a great man, it's what's inside, these kind of universal themes as well. I think they did a fairly good job of that. It shows the companions. Some people might not like that. It shows three of the companions. It shows Abu Bakr, even though they don't call him Abu Bakr, they call him As-Siddiq. They show Hamza, and they also show Ali. Some people are not going to have a problem with that. And considering that this film is trying to play things quite safe, I'm surprised that they actually did that. So we'll talk about that in the negatives in a minute. The imagery, some of the imagery in this film is gorgeous. There's a point where he's being tortured and he's in a cell, and I think they're trying to imply that he's having an inner conflict with his inner demons and his hatred, and he's trying to transcend those kind of based emotions, and he has this, a vision or a dream that he's actually fighting a demon in the desert. But not just that, is how they portray it, that his whole body becomes sand, and he's riding through the desert, and the sand is like flying off of his skin on the horse, and he sees the demon rise up as a sand creature, and they fight, and that is beautiful imagery. There are some absolutely gorgeous imagery in Bilal, A New Breed of Hero. It's not quite up to the standard of Toy Story or something of that nature, but it's still very, very good. Some beautiful imagery in there as well. No two ways about it. Right, let's get to some of the negatives, shall we?
This is Lemmy Hanshori. Stay tuned to Wagwan.
This is Safia Imperial. Stay tuned to Wagwan.
Right, let's talk about some of the negatives, some of the bits that I thought were, okay. I felt that, yes, of course it's about Bilal. We all know who Bilal is. Okay, as Muslims, we know who Bilal is. We know what he done. We know what he's famous for. We know something about his backstory. He was a slave. Abu Bakr freed him. Umayyah was punishing him. They put the rock on him, which they showed that. We know these things. But what's happened in this film is that I'm not sure what tightrope they're trying to navigate, because in one instance, they've taken out all of the Islamic references, They've taken out everything. They don't even say the word Islam or the name Muhammad. They don't even say that. So because of that, they've gone too far trying to be safe, and they've taken everything out of context. Nothing has any context. You get some vague references that, okay, there's a movement happening. They don't explain what this movement is, who the leader is, where they're gathering, what their agenda is. It doesn't really talk about it. You only see it from the point of view from Umayyah. They don't show Abu Sufyan. They don't show any of the other leaders of Mecca. They make it that he's the leader of Mecca. Maybe he was, I don't know. But it certainly sounds as if it's just one person who from the beginning is evil. They don't say why he's evil, why he's cruel, why is his son cruel. It doesn't talk about that. There's no story or no character development with regards to these particular characters. They're just evil and they just want to punish Bilal for whatever reason, and they want to stop this movement. They don't make it clear in the story why they want to do that, and it makes it a very disjointed, very there's no context. Basically, there's no context. It just goes on. Then they see there's the next scene, and then you hear vague talking about this new movement, and then it goes on to another scene, and then Bilal's having a problem here, but you don't know why why is he learning to fight? Who are they up against? When they go to Medina, part of the Hijrah, they don't even say that. Why? They just say there's some people that will look after us. Why? See, if you're going to try and appeal to a wider audience, you still have to put it into some kind of historic context. Otherwise, you'll lose the audience. I know the story of the Hijrah, I know the persecution, so I could barely just make out, oh, that's this, oh, that's supposed to be that. But if I was new to the topic, if I was a new Muslim or a non-Muslim, and I didn't know anything about Islamic history, and I watched that, I would know what is going on. I'd be totally lost. I'd be like, why is he doing this? Why is that going there? Who's this? Why is that? And I know they want to focus on Bilal, but I think they could have done a much more clever way of doing that. You don't even see him make the call to prayer. What is Bilal known for? Yes, his courage. Yes, his ability, to overcome hardship. But he's also known for making the call to prayer. You only see him sing once. When they go to Medina, I think it is, and they make the Prophet's mosque. They don't say a mosque, they say a place for us to gather. And you see him go on top of it, and everyone's looking at him, and you hear the voiceover saying, I was given the job to make the call. And he goes like this, and it stops. Why? Look, if you're going to put in Abu Bakr, you're going to put in Ali, you're going to put in Hamza, we know their figures, and you're skirting the edge of getting into trouble with Muslims, right? And then you don't put in obvious things like making the call to prayer. It just, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were thinking. And because it's so disjointed, because you don't know who is going here and who is what, some of the stakes are lost. You don't see why they're being persecuted. You don't see that. You don't feel the weight of this oppression. But yet, as an individual for Bilal himself, maybe, but you don't feel overall this backdrop of this movement, which is changing the hearts and minds of the Meccans and will then later on change the hearts and minds of billions of people throughout the world. You don't feel that wider historical context. And I think that was a massive mistake on the part of the filmmakers. I do appreciate that they had difficulties, towing that line between safe and making it acceptable to Muslims, and then at the same time making it a universal film about freedoms, greed, and what it can do to people. I understand that, but I think it was poorly executed, and unfortunately, I'm kind of in that position to have to say that because I do support Islamic media, but at the same time, we have to be honest. We have to still use the benchmark of excellence is going to be the same for everybody. Simple as that. Okay, if we're going to start making excuses for ourselves, then we can produce rubbish, and the next generations, they're going to produce stuff which are second rate as well. We can't be having that. So that's my thoughts on it. I would love to hear your thoughts on Bilal, New Breed of Hero. Comments below. If you've not subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe, inshallah, and leave a message below. Okay, regarding our winner, congratulations to Ran's #instigator, Ranch #instigator, bruv. You have won a £20 Amazon gift voucher. You can message us, go to our About page, and you'll see a facility there where you can message us. Get in touch, bruv. You've won yourself a £20 gift card as well, mashallah. Well done, guys. So anyway, that is my thoughts. Right, and it's not a very long, extensive thought, but I did like it, but I was let down in certain parts of it as well. Let me hear from you guys out there. Comments below. Take care. See you next on the next. Wagwan.